Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome back to the first episode of my brand new season on the podcast. You may have noticed even that we have a brand new name this season, and I'm very excited for everything that we're going to do. And I'm excited after being back for it's been months since I've recorded on the podcast. And so, Social Selling Simplified for Lori Irvin. If this is your first time finding me or finding this podcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. If you are an OG, a regular, welcome back. You know, you guys are absolutely my favorites. I'm so grateful and so thankful. And, I'm also thankful for the little nudges that I've gotten in the last little while asking me when this episode and when the series was coming back. And here's the thing, you guys, my intention was I love doing the podcast around the summer months. I think summer is a time for leaning into our businesses, leaning into studying inside of our businesses, kind of, and, learning. And so I always focus, and this is, a lot of podcasters break for the summer, but I like actually leaning in the summer and delivering more podcasts. Now, this season is going to be a lot of different topics, but we're going to zero in on a lot of social media strategy. And this week, we're going to kick things off with talking about kind of the evolution of network marketing, of social selling, and that's just some of the biggest shifts that I see happening in the industry and how you can really roll with those shifts and also maximize those shifts. And so we are going to have some fun sponsors on the podcast this season as well and moving forward. And this episode is actually sponsored by my Instagram Reels Challenge, which if you have not heard about it, it starts next week. It's totally free. If you want to learn Reels, if you want to get consistent with Reels, if you know without a shadow of a doubt, like I hope you know, that Reels are the way of growing a brand new audience and one of the number one ways of attracting new people into your world, you want to get yourself into this challenge. So just head to my Instagram account at the Lori Irvin, and you can find the link there, or you can send me a message on any of my platforms, and I would be happy to send the link over. And yes, got this question a lot, like, can you offer it to your teams and business besties? Of course. I think, in fact, take it one step further and start doing it behind the scenes together. Start a little accountability chat, drop your links to your reels into that chat and go and participate, engage, and comment on one another's reels. And you will be amazed at what that spike in engagement will do for, kind of the traction that your reel gets. And so I guess we kick things off inside of our sponsorship with a little business tip, but this is one thing that my team is working on doing together is maximizing reels by working together and commenting and participating, engaging, and pushing those out to more eyeballs. Because we know when more eyeballs see our content, when we're doing content and social media properly, that means a bigger following, that means a larger audience, and that means attracting potential ideal customers into your world. That all is kind of contingent on, like I said, that you are being strategic and intentional with your content and also with your profiles on those platforms. But you know what? Lean into my world because we talk a lot about these things and you may just pick up something every once in a while. Okay, let's dive into today's episode where we're talking about the biggest shifts in social media or social selling that are happening these days. And so, number one, I think the biggest shift that I am seeing, and this isn't to say that any of the old strategies necessarily don't work. In fact, I think you could probably go door to door the way they did 30 or 40 years ago and still gain traction inside your business. My kids still do that with their fundraisers, right? So it's not to say that old strategies don't work. What it is to say is that old strategies are not working in the same way that we once saw them work. We aren't seeing the same level of success. So it means it's time to pivot and shift and deliver our businesses in a different way. And if you are not willing to evolve with the times, if you are like clutching so damn tight to the old way that you grew your business, you may see yourself getting lost in the dust. And I hate to say that, but I'm seeing a lot of network marketers complaining, blaming the algorithm, blaming all these things when really they're just not evolving with the industry. And that is one of the most important things that we need to do, right? Like, think about it. At one point in time, network marketing was door-to-door sales. At one point in time, I built my six-figure business on in-home parties. And again, it's not to say that in-home parties don't work, because I still see it. If you can get people in the door of your event, you're absolutely going to make sales. And I think it's still one of, the most fun ways to, expose people to your products, to bring the people into your world. But it isn't the linchpin anymore in what is working in social selling. And then during COVID years, we found like the need to shift into really, really honing in on our VIP groups and running online events, right? And so that's one of the biggest shifts that I see in the social selling industry right now. And my guess is it's not going to be, anything new. This one element is not going to be anything new to you, but it maybe is a little bit of validation that no, the strategy isn't working in the same way that it used to. So it's not necessarily about abandoning online events entirely, because there's still a lot of successful online events out there. But I think it's about looking at them a little bit differently, right? Today's consumer is a more savvy consumer. They're hunting for a little bit more. And this is kind of because there's more people on the playground, you guys. So in order to stand out, you're going to have to be a little bit better than your competitors. You're going to have to be a little bit more like, actually, to be honest, you're going to have to be a little bit more you. You're going to have to make yourself the differentiator. And if you did not watch or listen to the last season on the podcast, it was dedicated entirely to and almost worked like a course all on branding and building a personal brand around you and your business, why to do it, how to lay that out on social media, all those things. So if you have not listened to that season, or if you need a little bit of a refresher, head back to that season and dive in, because I will teach you the ins and outs of building a personal brand for your business. And this honestly is the secret sauce right now in the social selling industry. It was last summer. It still is, with a couple of course, new strategies on the horizon, but absolutely it is what I'm teaching my clients in my worlds. And it is what I'm teaching the women on my team. And it's what I am relying heavily on for my own business as well. So we're shifting out of that party format. It doesn't mean we're shifting out of events entirely. What I will tell you is, if you still love running events, run events. But number two, can you add more value into those events? Can you make those events something that somebody actually wants to attend? Right? Let's look at an example of this. I may not want to attend an Epicure event where I know that they're simply going to be, showing me what's new in the Epicure world, like telling me about Epicure. And I'm like, you know what? I've been there. I've done that. I know that. I've got my rep. I've got all my things. Like I've been around the block. I'm good. However, I may want to attend a freezer meal workshop. Right? And inside that freezer meal workshop, I am creating 15 meals for my freezer that will last me 30 days, something like that. Whatever, I'm making that up. You know what I mean? But I'm like, oh, that speaks directly to me. I am a super duper busy mom. I do find getting meals on the table to be really challenging. And like, I would love this time saver. And I would love to do it alongside other women, like where it makes it a little bit more fun. And guess what? Epicure gets to be the hero inside that event. Epicure gets to be the tool that every single woman that attends that event is learning about and using. Bada boom, bada bang. And guess what? You can even do that in person too, right? You can do that online. You can do that on person. So can you see how that shift offers the consumer something they're actually looking for, rather than offering them an opportunity to be sold to? Okay. You could do pedicure events if you're with Gel Moments. Like you can do makeup tutorials if you're with Saint or another, makeup company. You can do smoothie workshops if you're with Arbonne. Like whatever you got, turn it into something that adds value for your consumer. That is one of the biggest shifts, is that we need to really lean in on value. We need to really ask ourselves, like, what is my ideal consumer struggling with? And like, how can I help them while allowing the products to be the hero inside that transformation? So in my example, the transformation is a busy mom who now learns to cook with ease, with Epicure being the hero inside that story. Okay. stick with me here. The second biggest shift that I see happening in the social selling world, and don't get me wrong on this one has been, upon us and coming for years, but I still don't see us leaning in the way that I want to see us leaning in, is Instagram and TikTok, right? The visual video photo platforms and the kind of, I don't want to say viral aspect of them, but I want to say public accounts that have the ability to attract totally new audiences. And the number one way that we used to, okay, the majority of us, we all had VIP groups, right? And we knew that it was absolutely essential to grow those VIP groups. And the way that we grew those VIP groups was both by referrals of people that are already in the group. And then number two, by doing outside events where we drive people back to that VIP group. And we knew in order to make that VIP group sustainable and like producing sales every single month, that we had to have a growth plan. Right? It's the number one, and it's still same thing. If you're running a VIP group, have at her. I love mine, but you absolutely have to have a growth plan behind it, right? And so nowadays, there's people that are not even using VIP groups, and they're simply using public-facing accounts where they're creating a personal brand, creating valuable content, driving people to them, and meeting whole new audiences and exposing them to their products. And Instagram and definitely TikTok are going to be kind of like your low dangling fruit in this area. But I don't see network marketers doing Instagram properly. This is one of the number one reasons why I'm coaching a ton on this right now. I'm in the second round of my Instagram bootcamp where I literally take you from A to Z to building out your account, and we do it together. And we talk about how to do it with intention. We talk about how to do it with strategy. And it's so much different than slapping up some posts and like making it look pretty. Yes, I want to make it aesthetically pleasing, absolutely. But having an Instagram account that actually drives new business, that brings new people into your world, this, I have to say, you guys, this is an essential. We need to learn the skills that it takes to build an Instagram platform that will actually deliver inside of our businesses. I just want to say that this is one of the biggest shifts, and I'm still looking at network marketers' accounts, and I'm just still seeing the same old stuff. You're still posting for your aunt, and you've got to be posting for your ideal customer. And so that means, and I've got a full course on this. I've got a full boot camp on this. So I can only give you some top line points inside this podcast. And if you want to dive deeper, let me know, and I'll send you the link to my brand new course. And if you are in the academy, that brand new course is actually in your dashboard already. It's already a part of the academy. So go dive in and go do this properly, you guys, because it'll take time, it'll take learning, but it will pay back in spades if you can grow an Instagram following where you're not posting for your aunt, where you're literally attracting new people into your world based on the content that you're putting out there. Okay, so just top line. Let me just give you a couple pointers about Instagram to take into consideration as you're creating content. All right. First off, your profile. Your profile should not be a dating, it should not be a dating profile, right? Don't tell me what your loves and your likes and the fact that you like to drink coffee necessarily, okay? Tell me what I, as the viewer, as the audience, can expect and get from that account. Where's the value for me? In order to attract a stranger to follow you, they have to get something out of your account. And you're going to have about 2 seconds for them to decide whether your account is for them or if they're going to scroll on by. Okay, so it starts with your profile, and it really is about your grid. So I want you to think of your grid. That's those like beautiful little like 3 by whatever photos, and think of your grid as like your marketing tool. You're going to create actual income producing content for that grid. That income producing content is not like spotlight on this product. I love this product. Happy birthday to my dad. Like, let me show you my brand new puppy. No, that content is like you are like asking yourself every single morning as you create this piece of content, what does my ideal consumer need to know today? What is she struggling with? How can I help? And like, what tips and tricks can I give her? Okay, if you need to dive deeper on this, go to my last episode, my last season on the episode, and dive into the episode that's called What Will I Post? In that episode, I talk about content pillars, and your content pillars are going to be the absolute foundation of the content you create inside your personal brand. And this is going to be one of your number one tools to growing on Instagram. And if you need support on this, send me a message, because again, I'm in round 2 of this boot camp and it's an amazing place to find yourself. I will run round 3 in the fall. However, I do have an Instagram course that's actually that you can grab today that will take you step by step with videos and workbooks and all that good stuff. It's awesome, you guys. And honestly, I just think, like, rather than just throwing spaghetti at the wall, I want my clients to like cut through that clutter and truly learn the ropes of how to build their businesses on these platforms. And the same goes for TikTok. The same basic strategies are going to apply across both platforms. And if you are posting on one, I'm going to encourage you to get more bang for your buck, and I'm going to encourage you to post on both. You can even go further than that, and you can grab yourself a YouTube channel, and every single reel can be a short on YouTube as well. It's something that I'm going to start working on. And one of my main projects this summer is YouTube. I go first, and then I teach you guys the ropes. I'm learning TikTok right now. I'm learning YouTube. I plan on learning Pinterest. And in the future, you're going to see those elements come out from me where I coach you how to use those things for your business too. Okay, that second shift is really just moving towards public facing platforms rather than hiding your business inside of, a business Facebook group, like a sales group. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a VIP group. If you love your VIP group, then keep loving on your VIP group. I have one. Many of you may remember that I actually moved away from it last summer. I took a break. I took a 9-month hiatus that I was really happy to take, because it gave me the bandwidth to learn how to use public facing platforms. I just didn't have the time before because I was so consumed with that. And it also made me want to go back to my VIP group, right? Something that was once a chore became something that I really missed, and realized that I loved that connection. So, and I loved the way that selling looks in a VIP group, but these can go hand in hand, you guys. You can use a booming Instagram account to drive people to a VIP group, right? Put it in your stories, put it on your grid, make it the thing, like make it the center of your business, and you funnel all the people to it because you know what amazing stuff is on the inside of there. Okay. The third biggest shift and the last shift inside this episode is digital products. I don't know if you have started to see these. Now, I think there's kind of 2 sides to digital products, and I could have this conversation for hours, but there's the already created digital products like the MMR and whatever other acronyms are out there. And there seems to be a massive, massive surge of those these days. And then there's also the other side, which is the side that I would like to start leaning into, and the side that I'm actually going to be releasing a summer program on. And it's digital products that you create yourself. So the MMR over here, and for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see my hand movements. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, I'm waving over here on the left-hand side. The MMR, those are like courses that are made for you. They're the things that people are saying are so easy to make money on, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, every single person still needs a viable, like, public facing platform with an engaged audience in order to make sales. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you need anything less, and never let anybody tell you in any kind of business realm that it's easy, because just as network marketing takes work and persistence and grit and determination and creativity and all of those things, so do pre-made digital products. Okay, same thing. Same thing, really. Anyways, again, huge tangent. It's not that I don't necessarily believe in them. I'm just not always sure of the way that they're marketed. And I also think that, like, one of the things that I would love to see network marketers do, and one of the things that I'm going to be teaching to in my world, is on the right hand side over here is creating digital products yourself. So let's say you have that Epicure business with your frozen meal workshops. Well, could you create shopping lists? Could you create cookbooks? There's a lot of valuable things that you could create and sell for maybe like $11 using your personal brand that you have developed using your public facing platforms. And this is something that adds a really easy layer of extra income into your already established business. I think that it's also a safeguard like inside your business, right? Because we know these businesses are not in stone. We know that they can change and they can evolve and they can be ripped from us and all those things. So I think it's just smart in this day and age to have as many streams of income as you can. And that's why one of the things that I want to teach women in my world is to create digital products all their own. So you can look forward to some information about that if you're interested in diving into the program that I offer this summer. Send me a message and I will put you on the wait list. But this is something that you are going to see like it's starting to pop up, it's starting to gain traction, but I think it's going to be something that you see a lot more of. So best to be ahead of the curve. And it's also a really great way to build an email list, you guys. And you could have freebies in there as well that just adds value into your business. There's so many different things that we can do in this area and so many different things we are going to do in this area. All right, you guys, that is it for this episode of Social Selling Simplified with Lori Irvin. Thank you for tuning in after so many months off from the podcast. It's so great to be back. If you're binging your way through this podcast a little later, then I will see you inside the next episode. But if you are kind of listening in as it's released, make sure you hop into that Reels challenge. Follow me over at Lori Irvin on Instagram, and I will give you all of the details there. And stay tuned for my Build Your Digital Product program that is coming this summer. And let me know personally if you would like to be on that wait list. Anyways, you guys, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you inside the next episode.